everybody, and welcome to CoastCast number 14. Woo. Can't believe we've got 14 episodes without like punching each other in the face or something like that.
That bit happens.
You haven't shown the you haven't shown the bloopers yet.
I think John's on the verge of giving me a clip. Like,
We have our good friends here, Scott and Lyndon, known under many monikers as Scott and Lyndon. The Limetree Studios, Limetree Podcast, and the Preamps.
Yes.
How are you doing, boys? He's all right.
Well, good. Yes. How are you?
Very good, very good. We've had it.
I'm excited to have you on, actually. I'm nervous because these are the pod kings.
It's CoastFest meets Limetree Sessions podcast.
Yeah.
Coast,
It's like Clash of the Casts.
CoastCast.
Yes.
Clash of the Cash.
I like that. Clash of the Cast.
Start to see after a few pints.
So how did you two guys meet? Because you do.
We've never done this before.
We've not.
Have you never been interviewed on a pod before?
No, we've never been interviewed before.
I've never asked you before because obviously like it's always like Scott and Lyndon.
Yeah.
Like,
Come as a pair.
We do, don't we?
So like, how did you guys meet him? And obviously you do videography and you do a lot of music production, Lyndon.
Yeah.
So how how did you meet and how did where did all this start?
Well, the band. So we're in a band called the Preamps. We do 60s covers and stuff, as you used to know. The band was already a band before I joined, so you're probably better off explaining a little bit before I.
Yeah, before Lyndon joined, it was me and two other lads who I've known one of them since primary school and the other lad since high school. And it wasn't until sixth form when we met Lyndon. And you just asked for a jam one day, didn't you?
Yeah, so I used to do stuff in school shows and stuff, and then everyone who I used to do music with left, so I needed a new band. So, and these lads had just come up, and they were in the same sort of music. I was like, do you want to do some stuff in the school shows? And that was it.
You're not officially a member of the band.
I was never officially in the band.
Are you in the band yet?
Nah, officially
He's never been asked.
Is he still just a sessional musician?
I'm just a sessional musician, but no, and that was 6-7 years ago now.
A long time
ago, but.
And then we went down to uni together.
We
Liverpool,
did.
all four.
Liverpool.
Well, you were saying that before because obviously we've got a resident Scouser.
We do.
You lived in the same house in Liverpool, am I right?
For 3 years, yes.
He lived not far from where I grew up, really, not far.
It's just on the road at Toxteth, But we didn't kill each other for 3 years. That was good. We survived. That's what we thought. If we can survive this, we can survive anything. Yeah. Living in a house with all sorts going on. But yeah, we were still did the band stuff, and then we started doing.
Yeah, after uni, we started getting more into. Obviously, we went down doing music production at uni, and you've carried that on, haven't you?
Yeah.
And then I've just taken up videography, and then we've just started doing show reels and. You're producing music for people and I'm doing music videos for people.
We met Jack at a Buskers night. Jack Miltree.
Yes, we know Jack.
Do the podcast with. We met him at a Buskers night just because we were sort of like internet friends.
Yeah,
like
we knew who he
Instagram
was.
Stuff, as you are with lots of people. And we went to a open mic night that he was doing, and we just sort of got on really well. And he came back to my studio, and we were jamming a bit, and just been ever since. And then I think it was Jack's idea to start doing music with us three.
Yeah.
And then that's when the Limetree session stuff started.
Yeah, well, like we really enjoy your podcast. And, like,
thank you very
much.
It
is like I think we've already spoke about this on the pod. The first pod that was it the first pod we did, or was it the second pod we did? And you two had come for buskers, and you were sitting over there. And we were just like nervous as shit.
Because it was off. Wasn't on video then, was it? So
no, it wasn't. No, that's right.
Yeah, you couldn't see the nervousness in my face. We're just like looking at each other, going, "Yeah, they're right behind me, man. Be good."
It started off as a joke. Our podcast,
did,
again, Jack's idea. We've got Jack to blame for
we
everything.
Do.
Started off as a joke. Oh, we should do a music podcast, and then it got out of hand, and we bought a camera. And then bought a second camera, and you were like quite a bit of money in, so that we've got to keep going now.
And then we've got episode 50, and then we're taking a bit of a break, aren't we?
That's mad. That getting to 50 episodes. Like, although we're on 14 now, it seems like we've been doing it forever, and like it feel like we need a bit of a break. Like, but we do enjoy it when we get here, and once we get sat down. But it's like all like the kind of stuff that comes with it, like. Thinking about what to say to people
exactly
and how we're gonna like format each podcast. We're trying to change it each time, but it doesn't work out that way. And
well, the format for us changed. Like our first podcast to our 50th one, the format changed.
Like, from the first one, it was literally just one long chat, and then towards like the last 20 episodes, we had a proper good like
an actual
formula where we have
sections
segments
and jingles and all that sort of stuff.
We haven't got now like that.
No, we started off, didn't we, by talking about. I mean, we had CoastFest to talk about. So that was easy, you know what I mean? So the first like 2 or 3 episodes were easy because I had so many stories And then you realise, oh, okay, we've talked about that one now. You know what I mean? Yes. We've done the bus to death. The bus was great and it went on fire. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like nothing else to say.
This is kind of like, I mean, I just did it just before this. This is like I always end up realising that I'm repeating myself a little bit. And I go, I think I alluded to it on a previous pod. I say that all the time because I know people go, Ali freaking talks about something.
Yeah. But you do, like when we started, it was me, Scott, and Jack. For many episodes, we didn't have guests on or anything like that, so you run out of things to talk about, and it's just the same people talking about the same stuff, which is when we started getting guests on.
That's the beauty of being able to get guests on. New conversations with different professionals, different.
I love it when we have other people in. It's good crack. We can create a good crack for like maybe 1 or 2 episodes, but then I'm like, we need someone else to
new,
talk to. You know what I mean? And I actually really like it when we have an artist performing on as well. I know we don't do that every pod. But I really enjoy listening. As well, it's my when I watch it back on YouTube, it's my highlight is getting to the end and watching the artist.
Especially now, Lyndon sent us the preset formulas.
I've got you, John. It's all right.
Yes.
So just for a bit of context, I've been struggling doing the live mixes for the pods and stuff like that, and I was like, Lyndon, can you come and have a look at this? Because I really don't know what I'm doing.
It was the last Buskers night. I think it was. You had Ken on, and he just came in. Can you come look at this?
Yeah,
I just had his laptop.
Well, everyone was playing. Everyone was busking. You were just sat there
mixing things.
Well, what I usually do is because Dex comes in to work here at 8 o'clock, and I used to take the computer outside and then like mix the pod and mix the music. Yeah. But for whatever reason, I mean, Ken put in a great performance, but for whatever reason, I was like, I kind of get this sounding very good, and all I could hear was things that were going on around us, and on my headphones, I was like, I can't be honest with that, and I was like, Lyndon.
and it sounded mint. But to be fair, you need to be kinder to yourself, John, because the mixes you've done so far have been really good.
Excellent job.
Yes. I appreciate that, but I do like having Lyndon as like my personal apple care.
I was actually in the car on the way here. Time out, and I got a phone call.
I was like, Lyndon, I kind of nothing's monitoring back to the headphones. Like, I'll be 20 minutes.
Even last week we were setting up for the podcast, and we're like, oh no, there's definitely an echo on all of the microphones. There's definitely an echo. Right, I'll phone Lyndon. And you're talking over speakerphone so we could get it right, and then it's like, hello, welcome to episode 13.
Logic tech support.
So you or Rachel last week who was like, there's nothing, and I was like, all right, can
that's how much of a basic bitch I am at like the whole like production side of it. Like I didn't even have people's headphones plugged in or anything like that. And I was like, Rich, like, I don't know what's wrong with them. And I was like, well, I don't know either. And it just wasn't plugged in. But anyway, the pod's class. Like, I love it. And it's kind of inspiring for us as well. Like,
no, you're doing a class job.
So thank you, man. Appreciate that. But anyway, I'm really intrigued as what you do with the preamps, because I haven't seen you live yet, and I feel really bad about it, and I really want to.
Right.
But I'm blaming it.
We're never local, to be fair. I don't blame you.
Well, I'm blaming it on the fact that I'm at work every weekend and use gig every weekend.
We do.
So
the thing is, though, it's like us being in a band. We don't get to go to gigs as often as other people would because we're gigging ourselves. Understand completely.
Yeah, that's it. But like, I would love to see you live.
One day.
One day we'll make that happen. But so you get about a bit, don't you?
We do.
Yeah. So like, whereabouts you go and play? Are you
everywhere. Let's see. We're with an agency who do all of our stuff, so they just tell us where to go and we just rock up. Basically.
Regional or countrywide.
It's regional agency, but we're sent. He works with other agencies, so we're sent. I mean, we're going to Dunoon in Scotland this weekend, so it's like
north of Glasgow. I'm told.
North Glasgow.
Really?
Yeah, 4 and a bit hours.
The weather's gonna be mental.
Low stuff.
Lower stuff. That was
Suffolk.
But we've been down to Devon. We've been into Wales. We've everywhere.
What's the furthest place?
Devon was far.
Yeah, it was.
That was. We drove back that same night.
It took 8 hours to get there, didn't it?
No, that was when we did Somerset. That was a 9-hour drive.
Oh, was it 9?
That wasn't fun.
Me and Brian had a gig in the summer at a little festival down in Devon in Sidmouth, and that was just the worst drive ever.
Yeah, it's
ever. And we had one a few weeks later near Ipswich, and even that was freaking mental drive. Like, it's not nice, is it?
No, you get used to it though.
You do, but it's not nice.
It's not pleasant, but you do get used to it.
So what kind of stuff is it you do in the band?
It's 60s.
60s covers,
yeah. 60s covers, 60s
nice
stuff.
We've got a niche.
That's right up my street, that as well, you know.
Solid gold 60s.
Yeah, right up my street.
Solid gold 60s.
Solid gold.
Solid gold 60s.
That's what it's advertised as.
Is that the crack? Is it preamp solid gold 60s?
That's it.
I like that. We should do CoastCast, solid gold shite. That's what we should do.
Solid gold shite.
Platinum shite.
Platinum shite.
Yeah.
I like
Double
that.
platinum.
So, obviously, like, you do all of that stuff. You do your music production, you do your videography, but Lyndon, you helped volunteer at CoastFest
I did.
this year.
Yes.
How was that for you?
That was great. I came down on the Thursday, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
To
when everything was already done.
you say that.
I wasn't going to say anything.
There was a lorry full of PA equipment that needed moving.
That was
and all the beer kegs, which wasn't fun.
And to be fair, we were there from Monday till the following Tuesday, and there was never a time when there was not
there was always something done.
There was always something that needed doing.
That's true. I mean, it was great. It was great to see you, like, being there as punters as well, like in the crowd and watching all the bands.
Well, we were there.
You were there pretty much all of the time.
As much as we could have been, 'cause obviously we would gig at the weekends and stuff like that, but as much as we could have been there, we stayed as long as we could.
Yeah,
it's just like all the artists that were on were fantastic.
I remember seeing you standing. Must have been early on. I can't remember who you were watching. It might have even been Craig. And there was a little crowd there.
Yeah.
But like it was just teaming it down, and like you two would just stand there saying,
yeah, we were there from the get go.
Yeah.
We were.
I remember seeing you. So, like, what was your experience of the whole thing? Because like it was kind of like a flash in the pan thing, kind of for us, because like we didn't really take in an awful lot of it because we were so busy. But like, what was your favourite part of the festival? Because it's kind of like market research for us.
Yeah.
Because like we like to ask people who either played the festival or were involved in it in some sort of way, what they felt about the festival and maybe what we could improve, or what was your favourite part. So we can just have a look at doing that again.
You guys didn't play, did you?
No, we didn't.
So that's a big difference for
which was nice because we got to experience it
that's,
all.
That's what I mean, because everyone we've had on the pod so far played there.
Yeah.
So it's been from a musician's experience as opposed to a punters, you know.
It was nice for us because we knew a lot of the people who were playing. Like, we've either had them on our podcast or we're friends with them anyway. So it was just nice to just rock up and have a full day of just seeing your mates play music, which is great. And the fact that there was 3 different stages.
I know.
Meant as soon as something is finished, you go, right, next. You're off to the next bit of music in the tent or whatever.
You have like an itinerary of who you want to see. And I think my favourite was the Sunday for Sammy stage. Like,
that was a good stage.
Getting in the tent and seeing some bands. I think that was my favourite part.
That was a horrible weather.
I mean, that could have been a part of it, but
you say that we watched Hannah Robinson in the rain.
We did, yeah.
It was shutting it down. I was like, I'm not moving.
It's true.
It was really, really good. The whole weekend was just fab.
Quality, man, but I have to thank you for for coming down and volunteering and stuff, because
definitely.
I think in the run up to the festival, those days where we had like so many people down volunteering, giving their time, was just amazing, you know, and just like kind of like you get to see the best and the worst of everybody when you get your hands dirty and you're there, but everybody just kind of stuck together and had a great time. I felt so, yeah.
So it's cool. Well, you put the thing on Facebook saying anyone free, you know, so message straight away saying I'll be down.
Oh, nice one, man. Like it was mad because when we were doing that, it was like I put in a post. I was like, maybe it's 1 or 2 people, but literally for the fence to put the Harris fencing up. Fucking hate Harris fencing. Right, putting that Harris fencing up was absolutely horrific, and like. I had asked people to come down the night before. I think it was the night before on Facebook. Like, who can give some time to put the Harris fencing up? And I've alluded to this on the podcast before. I was told to be there for 8 o'clock in the morning. The fencing didn't come till 4 in the afternoon, and like people stayed all day. And there was like 20 odd people stayed all day, and it was like
waiting.
It was amazing. Just like all the volunteers are absolutely class, man. And like that's what I love about the whole thing. Like everybody just chipping in and.
It was nice, like
proper community.
It was.
Yeah, that's what it was. And
it was nice to have
really
all the people there, because a lot of it was just waiting around for things to turn up. Like once we'd emptied the lorry, we were waiting for the next lorry to go. You just stand and chatting, and there's stuff to be done. And
it was lorry upon lorry, like. But yeah, man. But like you say, I kind of think is enough for helping out. Oh, one other thing I want to ask you about. Lyndon has got a wonderful recording studio, like in his back garden.
Yes,
right?
The shed.
The shed. So it's like you walk around the side of his house, right? And this is like a normal family home. You know, you walk on the side, past the camper van, in round the side, you get attacked by the dog.
Yeah, you do.
Everyone's been attacked by the dog. Yeah.
And then you go into like what just looks like it's a big size shed. And what looks like, and you walk in, it's like this kind of like. cornucopia of like music equipment and like a proper good studio. So tell us about that. Like, for one, how did your parents allow you to put on your gun? For two, what did it start off like, or did you already have the equipment to put in, or did you like start small and build it all up and stuff? 'Cause you do some amazing demos, and like you've done 1,000,001 demos and stuff for like my artists and stuff like that as well, and you do loads of others.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
So,
Well,
it's a good spot.
I mean, I started on an iPad many moons ago, but yeah, I mean, my dad built the shed that's there. It's a big shed. It's 24 foot by 12 foot.
It's got a pool room on it.
It used to have a pool table. It was like it was my dad's game room, effectively.
Dartboards.
Dartboards.
Yeah.
It was basically the man cave. And then
For a bit of context, I was speaking to Lyndon's dad in the garden when I was out just outside the shed, and he was like, "I've got a pool table, what used to be in there, and he used to have this, that, and the other, and now it's just Lyndon's."
The shed bit gets smaller and
it
smaller.
does. As my studio gets bigger and bigger. Yeah. But well, the room wasn't being used in my eyes, and I was just like, could I have the space to build a studio? Because it was in my room at first.
Yeah.
Like, I just had my desk in my room, and it was just like I was getting out of bed, working, and then going straight back to bed. And it was just like not ideal. So just to have somewhere else to go, like separate. I wanted somewhere else. I was like, wormed my way, have a bit of shed room. And it just started with that. With literally just a desk and some monitors and a laptop, and then I slowly just bought gear and started working with different people.
You do the podcast from there as well, don't you?
Yes.
We do,
yes,
And the sessions you do as well from there.
everything, yeah. And all the artists I work with, so Helen, who we've just finished the track for.
Sounds amazing.
Craig, who I'm doing all that stuff for.
Yeah.
It's all done there.
Yeah.
Apart from like stuff that we record, like we did the drums here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
amazing, man. It's quality. It's like a little like I think I said last time I was there. It's like kind of going on holiday. Like like whenever I go to Lyndon's studio during the day, like I'm like kind of just like in the studio and like phones off to one side, and you're just like away from everything. And
Get
just,
away.
yeah,
kind of.
well, it's because like there's no window, so there's no sense of time. So you're just sitting there, and it's like I don't know what time it is. It's like it could be like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. I'm just like I should really go to bed now. But I enjoy doing it. So,
but well, that's it. Like it's obviously very successful because like, obviously there's been times when I've been in the studio at like we've come at like 10 in the morning or whatever, and like we've left at 4, and then you've got another artist in at 4:30 for the evening session. Like you don't get very much time to.
No, it's all go, but I enjoy it. I mean, I'm working with Kieran and Ben and Craig and Helen and all that stuff. So
well, there's been loads what you've done. You did Jack's.
We
EP,
recorded, yes, that was all recorded there.
Yeah, that was done quite recently, and obviously you're working with Craig Redpath as well, doing his and Helen, and it's just been stacks coming through. Is that all just like kind of like? I mean, this question's for you as well. Your videography, like, do you actually advertise what you do, or is it all like kind of just word of mouth?
I think a lot of it's word of mouth,
isn't it?
which is really handy because you don't have to go looking for it a lot of the time. It's like people like what we do.
Yeah, and then they'll suggest it, or they've told someone about what we've done, and then their mates have wanted stuff doing and things like that. So it's pretty word of mouth.
People just see it, and thankfully they like it. So.
In that kind of game, word of mouth's probably more important, isn't it? Because you could put all over social
like
media.
Personal feedback.
We're really good. And we do it really professionally.
We've never ever done that.
No,
yeah, but
never.
unless you've actually been there and had a track recorded or had a video recorded and gone, wow, that's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And then you tell all your mates. And if you're a musician, then generally a lot of your mates are going to be musicians. So
yeah, exactly.
That whole word of mouth, I think in that game is far more important.
The only thing we like really use social media for is to just showcase what we've done, not
Yeah.
advertise what we can do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're not saying you can book us now. It's like we've never done that. We just put out what we are doing, and if people like it, they'll get in touch with us, and it works out because we are like full-time musicians at the end of the week. It's like we have the week off, so it's like to fill the
Monday,
time.
Thursdays doing stuff like this.
Yeah, we do as much as we can.
Yeah.
As you say, I've got like people in all the time, and you're working with people all the time. So it's just like
that must be pretty cool to be able to go like I'm a full-time musician.
it's weird.
Isn't that the dream? Like,
I mean, yes.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, it's annoying. Like socially, like you don't, as you say, we don't get to go to gigs. We don't get to like stuff at the weekend. You know the situation. But it is nice to say, like, what you do for a living. I'm, a full time. We're in the music business full time. It's really good fun.
Amazing, man.
Should talk football.
Oh yeah.
We've got to talk a bit football, haven't we?
We totally forgot about that, didn't we?
Well, let's just. How long are we?
Solid Gold FC putting a team in.
We're absolutely Solid Gold FC. No, we've got time.
We'll talk about the CoastCast Cup then.
Yes. So basically, if you haven't listened to any of our podcasts before, we have to get creative and by means of fundraising to be able to run a community music festival. Money doesn't just come around. So we have kind of like a background in football, and we love football.
We all love football.
Yes.
So we
Yes.
decided that what we're going to do is we are going to organise the inaugural CoastFest Cup, which will include 12 teams.
12,
Yeah, 12 teams.
12 teams on the 19th of November.
Which I haven't got a lot of time to sort out, to be fair.
At North Shields Football Club.
Well, John Spence High School, North Shields Juniors, on the 3G.
12 teams, all of whom are bands or teams
Bands,
representing a band.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like
Bands and
Kieran
bands
Bow
and White Circle.
FC, for example, will be one of the teams. 12 teams who'll all get guaranteed at least 3 games each, and potentially 5 games, obviously, if they get to the final.
If they're any good.
We are going to have live music on all day,
Yes.
both outside, if weather permitting, while the football's going on, and inside for the sort of piss-up trophy presentation bit afterwards.
So it's all about.
Yeah, I'll have to mention the 3 Seals will be open all day, which
Yeah.
is a pub on... It's not on the school ground,
It's on,
but it's on the school.
It's kind of
it's on
on the
site.
school
Oh, right.
ground.
It's on the site. Basically, it's like a
There's a pub on the
pub,
site.
which
Yeah, brilliant.
It's great. It used to be the old staff room at the school, like when I went to that
Oh,
school.
right.
many,
So it
many
hasn't
moons
changed
ago.
much because it's probably more like a pub then.
Yeah, so it used to be the old staff room at John Spence School, but now it's a pub, which is like kind of the North Shields Juniors clubhouse, so to speak,
so
isn't
they'll
it?
have like the quiz nights and they'll have the get-togethers and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so-
I'm in at least twice a week. At least once a week, sorry.
Twice a week,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm there on Friday for my training and you have to have a...
He's there weekdays and weekends, twice a week.
It's lovely in there though. I'll have to...
I've not been in.
I'm sitting in my mate's pub, like plugging another pub. Yeah.
No,
I don't mind. I mean, if it means you're here less, that's even better.
There you go. That was coming, wasn't it? That was
You've all
coming.
rated it out, Christopher.
I feel a bit better now. I don't have to say anything.
Yeah. Yours is
No, so
class.
it's a football tournament for bands. It's called the CoastFest Cup. There will be a trophy for the winning team, plus the chance to win £200 cash prize and a £200 studio time voucher for bands to take part. And then we'll have things like Golden Boot and Should Have Stayed at Home trophy and that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
Stick to play music.
But
So if any teams are interested, any bands are interested and they want to put a team in, preamps.
I can't tell you how bad we would be.
It doesn't matter.
We've got volunteers, we've got volunteer referees, we've got people who are going to keep the whole thing running all day. It's going to be really good fun. When a team enters, they pay a price per team, which is advertised in our socials and all that. But for that gets them entry into the competition, but also gets them a football top with their band name on. So Kieran Bow FC on his kit.
They get to keep it as well.
They get to keep that at the end of the day, and they also get a framed team photograph.
Oh, that's cool.
On the day.
And if
as
they
well.
win, you've got bragging rights for a year.
Yeah.
Till the next year.
Till the next
bragging
one?
rights,
Till the next year. So
cool.
yeah.
So it's going to be a really, really good day.
Yeah,
We're all looking
I'm
forward to
looking
it.
forward to that. But that brings us on, because what we're going to talk about, I mean, I know Scott loves his football. I'm not sure how into football you are.
I'll just zone out for this next bit. It's fine.
Okay. So like we were just like having a little chat the other day, and we were talking about like our favourite football memories, whether it be us playing football ourselves or a professional game, Newcastle United, England or whatever, like our favourite football memories. And we just thought, well, we'll stop that conversation there, and then we'll talk about it on the pod, and we actually talk about our CoastFest Cup, sorry. So Scott, I don't know if you've had any time to think about this. Like, what do you think your best football memory?
I wouldn't necessarily say going to a game, but going to St James's for the first tour of St James's, part of my granddad.
Oh wow!
I had the Adidas kit with Michael Owen on the back. It's the one where it had the collar with the like blue.
Michael Owen.
I know. I've actually still got the kit.
It was match. It's his full season strip as well. It was worn once.
It was that
Still
one anyway.
paying them, aren't you? Still now.
And yeah, I think that's probably my favourite football moment, going to the tour with my granddad for the first time, because I hadn't gone to games before then. It was just the spectacle of the stadium and everything, and So yeah, probably that.
I mean, I'll never forget. You know, when you go up the steps, right?
Exactly.
And you go back and you just see the green
as you edge over,
right, and then the wind hits you. I think you say, "Oh, it's amazing." That feeling's amazing. We took our nephew to one of the friendly games before at the start of this season. Me and our Andrew took Alfie, and he was 6 at the time, and I was like, "Alfie, you're gonna love it. You're going to absolutely love it. You go in, you go up the steps, and then you go up the next set, and then you see the green grass, and the wind hits you in the face, and it's going to be it's going to be the best feeling in the world." got up there, went and think, "Rubbish this." He goes, "Rubbish this," and then he sat next to me with a match. I was like, "I'll try and get him into it and all that." And literally 5 minutes, he's like, "I want to go home." I says, "You're not bloody going home." But yeah, like that first time I seen James.
Oh, it's magic. It's magic. I'm trying to think of a moment, like a game. The one that comes to mind is the last Carabao Cup games. The semis was Southampton.
Yeah.
I was in the Gallagher for that. For Longstaff scoring and everything.
Yeah.
And that was magic, that. Because I never got the final or anything. I never got to experience any of that because I was gigging. So that was the closest I got to see.
Did you get to watch the final though?
I did get to watch it on my phone.
Oh,
not quite the same.
No. We'll go for a walk around a holiday country park or something. We weren't had it on my phone.
Yeah,
Remember
we're
that?
very rock and roll bands. Walking around country parks.
Watching them.
Honestly.
So I did get to watch it, but I didn't get to experience all the atmosphere and stuff around it in Newcastle, and of course everyone down in London and stuff. But I think that's at a game. That's probably the best moment, being at a Southampton game.
You took me to my first match.
I did, yeah. Norwich.
Scott, because I've never been to St.
Do you know the game where Hugh Clark got sent off and Joe Lynn got put in midfield?
Oh, right, yeah,
that was the game.
He won some tickets to Fun 88
on Twitter,
and he needed someone to go with, and I'd never been before. So
first time I've met somebody who's won a competition.
I know.
I think they were real.
No, yeah.
I've only ever met won 3 competitions in my life. It was that, a Robinson's juice bottle thing, and a Pretty Green giveaway. And that's it.
One of Kate's kids who she works with in the school where she works, their dad has just won a holiday. You know, where you answer the telephone to the radio and you say,
me a winner or something like that.
Me a winner, or it's the, or whatever. Just won a holiday to Turkey, and I just always thought they were fake. Because I've never met anyone who's ever won anything like that at all.
It might have been cheaper for him just to go on lastminute.com
or
something. The amount of money that it cost.
I know,
Exactly.
EasyJet straight over.
That was the first game, Norwich game, wasn't it?
That's my abiding memory when I think of football. I think of that because
obviously Platinum Club as well.
I don't watch.
Was it?
Yeah, it was good seats as well. We weren't messing around. I don't watch football really on the telly.
Yeah.
But going to a match, I like going to the match. Yeah. But
it's the difference in it.
It's the I just like the atmosphere of it.
Yeah.
That was the last season I had tickets as well. When good.
We're going to move on to a Scouser story now. Come on, John. What's
I've just got millions. I was thinking about this.
We've got.
No, I was thinking about this all week.
You've got 20 seconds.
You haven't got long.
Yeah, well, you see, I'm a little bit tiny bit older than everyone here. Do you know what I mean?
Just a tiny bit.
So I've seen Liverpool win all 6 European Cups in my lifetime. I've seen them, when they were a bit sort of like Man United in the 90s, winning occasionally we came second.
How could you tell the two?
No, honestly, but then I had just nothingness for years. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Nothingness. So I going to my first game. I got the bus to my first game with £1 what I'd earned off working for the milkman, you know what I mean? And
£1 for the bus.
Went underneath. No, not for the bus.
For the game.
That's
for the game.
That's for the day out. Yeah.
Bloody hell.
On the bus to Anfield, under the turnstiles with fellas kicking you underneath so you could bump in, you know what I mean? And then
so that changed when you got home.
Sitting in them bars on the cot and jumping on everyone's shoulders as I surge forward like that. They're my childhood memories. But I think, all right, I'm going to name three things. Winning the Champions League in 2005, which was essentially with a shit team, but with Steven Gerrard in the team.
Yeah.
That was just the best comeback of all time. 3-0 at half time.
It's reminded us of, have you seen the guy on TikTok and he takes a piss up with Steven Gerrard and he goes,
Of course.
Yeah.
Isn't he called Darren Fairley, I think
Darren
he's called.
Darren Farrelly or something like that. He's brilliant.
He's wicked.
He does them all, man. He does Harry Kane, Jaden.
He does the 3 Scousers and they go to the playground and stuff. Wayne, you're not getting in the ice cream, Wayne. Get off the
He's brilliant. If you haven't seen him on YouTube, honestly, he does everyone in football. He does Eddie Howe. He does Eddie Howe.
He gets the tops as well, doesn't he? He gets the he gets them all done.
No, but that comeback for me was just I think that's the greatest comeback I've seen in football.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was well, Barcelona's number 2 on my list because the 4-0 at Anfield was just unbelievable, and that clever corner from Trent, you know what I mean? Oh, unreal. But that was with a good team. Like, you know what I mean? Like in 2005 we had a shit team, really, you know, and Gerrard just carried us through that final, and it was just amazing. And then the last thing, because both Chris and I coach football, and we're lucky enough to coach our kids' teams. You know, like my daughter plays in the girls' team that I coach, and my son plays in the boys' team. And just watching them is like really special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, it is. It is. I love my kids, and I love spending time with them. And football gives me an opportunity to spend more time with them because I coach them once a week, both of them, and then they play once a week, both of them. And then my daughter is my assistant coach for my son's team as well.
I didn't realise that.
That's amazing.
That's coaching qualification. So,
I mean, I used to be head of football development at Wallsend Boys Club, and I know how difficult it can be to be like a supervisor of all of these children and make sure everybody's happy. And so it's a fair play to you both, like, because it's hard. It takes up a lot of time. I think a lot of parents get into it as well, thinking that it can't take up that much time, but then it just
engrosses you.
Get right into
it.
I mean, there's the coaching, then there's the matches, then there's the admin, then there's the communication with the parents, then there's setting everything up. I mean, it literally
it's not just match days.
No, it takes up so much of your time.
10 phone calls a day regarding whether players injured, we need to sort this out, and I'm like, we've got 20 kids, we can sort it out, don't we? It's like, but it's Thursday.
Yeah.
You've only got
But then you get there on the Saturday or the Sunday or whatever, and it's game time, and it's all worthwhile.
Yeah.
You know
exactly.
What I mean? And they go on and they enjoy it, and
absolutely.
Yeah.
Quality, man.
Is that yours?
Love it. Chris?
Mine's same as what you're saying. Kids, probably when they scored the first goals, lost it when. I'm emotional kid anyway, but as soon as when they scored the first goals, I was like, I'm just going round the cry for a bit. I'll be back in 2 minutes. And football wise, St James's Park every time, probably best. I can't think of a particular moment, but we got relegated and was sang for Rafa for 60 minutes at the Tottenham game, but we're absolutely trounced Tottenham. I was hanging. I'd been out the night before. My son, I'd give Jake my phone in the car and I said, just play on that, son, I'm going to sleep for 5 minutes. And I woke up with loads of pictures and me just slapping. So anyway, we'll get into the match, and it was just a great game. Was it, what did we win? 4-1, 5-1? I
can't remember,
It's a Sissoko scoring and stuff like that, and it was just but enjoying that with the Ben as well. Yeah. And I've enjoyed games with Sophie when she's been mascot and stuff, but I'm sure she won't mind us saying that. That Tottenham game was something else. But we did it again. Last season? We just absolutely hammered them. But
you don't realise, like you have, like when your own kids play football, you don't realise the passion that you're gonna have for it, because you got the. I mean, like I love Liverpool. I'm a proper red hot Liverpool fan. Like I've been my whole life. I take loads of shit from it up here in Newcastle, and I love it because I love giving it back as well. You know what I mean? But you don't realise the passion when your own kids play football. Yeah. Like I can remember. One of the first, I think it was the first season Hannah was playing football. She'd be a bit younger than 11. But it was the one game in that season that I couldn't make it to watch her. Yeah, and I said to the coach, will you, who was coaching her at the time, will you give me an update of the scores like that? And I got a text later on in the night saying, you picked the wrong game to not be there. And I was like, man. Oh fuck, why? I hope she hasn't hurt herself or... And he went, we were 3-0 down at half time. We came back to win 4-3. Hannah scored the winner. Hannah scored the winner from the halfway line. And I was like, no, and I'd missed it. You know what I mean? I was absolutely devastated. You know what I mean? It's like being given a cup to the Champions League, ticket to the Champions League final, and losing it on the way. Yeah. You know what I mean? That was just So that's when your own kids play football, it really you get much more. Passionately involved in it than even your own team.
The thing is about that though is you can now think like back on that, and you're still getting those emotions back.
Oh yeah,
so it's like you were there.
Every week, my youngest scored a free kick on 2 weeks ago. I was telling you, wasn't I? We had to play on this shit pitch over in Shields, and hockey goals were the goals, which are really quite tall. You know what I mean? So. And we got just before half time, we got a free kick, and their parents were shouting at their kids saying, he's going to go high, because the hockey goals were high, because Jack stepped up to take the free kick. And their coaches were going, get a wall, he's going to go high, get a wall. And our players were going, Jack, go high, the goal's really high. And he just stood there, he took one pace and hit it low into the bottom corner. And it was like, I was like this, yeah, well done, good goal. And I wanted to just run on and do a spin across the pitch, you know what I mean? And I said to him afterwards, like, he's 9 years old. I said, why did you go low? And he went, well, because everyone was saying go high. And everyone was expecting it to go high. And I thought, well, I'll do the opposite, you know what I mean? And I was, he's just like...
Took you back.
Oh, man, I was like so proud and emotional, and I could have cried and everything, you know what I mean? It's just...
it's lush to hear.
There's nothing like your own kids playing football.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
I mean, I'm gonna go on for mine a little bit, like... boring here. Like, I mean, I've got 1,000,001 like Newcastle United memories. I've got loads of memories from working with the kids at the boys club as well, which were amazing. But like, this is one thing that sticks in my mind: the France '98 World Cup final, and it was Italy against Brazil, and all them amazing footballers like the R9 and stuff like that playing. And I was like, it was 1998. So I would have still been like playing football and stuff, and like I would believe it or not, I was R-rated at football when I was a youngin', like. And I remember watching that World Cup and just being like completely in awe of the whole thing, and just watching it. And then there's a thing, and I actually mentioned it. I got interviewed by Keith Newman from Highlights PR the other day for a magazine, and I actually mentioned it in that. It's sometimes when I feel like I've got shitloads of stuff to do, right? There's at the end of France '98, and I remember it from when I was a kid. The BBC put like a reel on afterwards. It was like all of the goals and stuff like that. And it was, what's on? I don't know what it is, but I'll find it. It was insert. Yeah, that one. It was that, right? With all the goals of the World Cup, and it was there's a film, not a film, a poem called "If" by Rudyard Kipling, and I think it was John Motson, maybe. Like reciting that over the top of it, and like a proper it's like a proper rabble rouser and all that. And I still go, it's on YouTube, right? And I still go back and like when I watch it, and I'm like afterwards, I'm like, fuck.
Takes you straight back to the moment.
Takes you straight back to it,
and wanting to be a footballer back then. I mean, any chance, but wanting to be a footballer back then, it's like it just gives us a proper boost watching that. So that's like my kind of memory, like sitting watching, lying face down on the floor in front of a telly like this with my mum and dad behind us.
Stretch back behind you.
Watching that,
I think
that was amazing. I still hark back to it now. You know,
when you're into football, these are the things that keep you into football, get you into football. It's things like that. It's not necessarily, the score Liverpool versus Leicester in 1983. It's not. It's the feelings, isn't it? It's the experiences. I can remember sitting. I remember getting a bath. In the kitchen sink, watching the World Cup. And the time when the commentators used to commentate over the telephone.
All right.
So so it was literally you're on the phone, listening to someone on the phone.
John, how old are you?
108. I can remember watching the World Cup.
It was the Qatar World Cup. We just still has a bath in the sink.
I'm still small enough to get in the sink. No, the commentators are commentating. They used to do it via telephone, you know what I mean? And I can remember being bathed in the kitchen sink and looking through into the living room and hearing them commentating, Brazil and Argentina and Holland, and just memories, like really,
should
really powerful.
Should we sack off this music podcast thing and
start
just do a football podcast? I'm proper enjoying myself. Yeah,
that's how it started. Our first tester, just to see, but it never got aired. Was just talking about, was it transfer deadline day or something in August?
Something like
was
that,
it?
Yeah, I was talking about transfers.
That was it.
Because we were going to sign Zoboslai, but you ended up signing him. So
But
last thing on football, very quickly, because he's a red, and I'm going to take the mick here. Have you seen what he wears because he's a true red? What he has to wear when he's coaching football?
All blue.
Everton
oh, no. Yeah, all blue.
Oh, man. man.
Yeah,
sacrilege.
It's horrible. Like, you know what I mean? I spend
John.
about a third of my week dressed all in blue just for the coaching and the matches and everything.
You even wearing blue now?
Yeah, I know. Just used to it.
Classic. I mean, just before we get finished, one thing what I was going to say that when I was saying about that poem, the Rudyard Kipling one, up until about 3 years ago, like back then, my dad told us it was a guy who makes Cherry Bakewell tarts. Who wrote it up until about 3 years
Mr. Kipling.
ago. Yeah, Mr. Kipling. Up until about 3 years ago, I thought that was the case until I looked back at it. I just didn't think anything else of it, you know.
We should do a whole podcast on stuff like that, you know, like where people haven't found something out until like quite recent.
Like when you're in the office at work and you've been sitting next to somebody for like 3 months and then you don't know what their name is, so you just call them mate for till the end of time.
Yes.
I remember my brother was about 35 years old when he realised that, he knew that L was for learner and P was for just passed your test, but he always thought GB was getting better.
Oh, no.
So he was in his 30s. I get a whole podcast out of that sort of stuff.
That's absolutely class. Right, then shall we finish off because we've got another pod to do today and we are running out of time because bus going to start at 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Okay, so we always finish. If we have guests on, we always ask them 2 questions. First of which is, give us a bit of what have you got coming up in the future? Your time to sort of tell us what you've got going on.
Quick rundown. Lots of stuff. We've got a few Limetree stuff coming up. We've got a Halloween special coming out soon, and we've got a
spooky. Tease what the song is.
If you can, how would you tease what the song is?
Monster Mash.
No.
It's based around a film.
That's enough.
Ghostbusters.
Right, what next?
Next would be, we've got a Christmas one coming out as well.
Which we'll have asked John about doing something around here, some sort of choir style thing.
Oh, cool.
Making a big event. And
we're the only people listening to Christmas songs now.
We are.
Last month.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
Band stuff, we're gigging all the time, so you can look on our social media and find out where we're gigging all the time.
What's your social media?
The preamps.
Just the preamps across the board.
Yes.
And of course, we've got Limetree Sessions, Limetree Music Studios,
yes,
Limetree Productions.
We can put all these on the end of the pod, can't we, Gemma? Lovely.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to do one each or one between you? Because the last thing we do is we ask people to describe their experience of the Coast Fest this year in 3 words. So you can have 3 words each or 3 between you. It's up to you.
Go each.
Yeah. Do you have one?
No.
I'll go.
He just wants to bite some time while Lyndon's doing it.
I'll say pure community spirit.
Yes.
Amazing, man.
You've taken one of mine, community.
That's all right. You can have that.
Emerging. Belter.
Nice one, boys. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.